Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Shockwaves are rippling through the church world, and this story has everyone talking. At 62, Bishop T.D. has finally broken his silence on Pastor Joel Tudman's sudden and shocking exit from the Potter's house. What seemed like a quiet transition has turned into a powerful story of loyalty, leadership, and destiny. But is this just a natural shift in calling? Or is there more happening behind the scenes than we've been told? Stay with me, because today we're unpacking everything you need to know. Before we dive in, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Social media buzzed with theories. Church members whispered about possible reasons. Commentators across blogs, YouTube channels, and Christian outlets filled the void with speculation. Everyone seemed to be searching for the truth. To understand the weight of this departure, it is important to look at who Joel Tudman is and why his role at the Potter's house mattered so deeply. Tudman was not just another associate pastor filling in occasionally. He was a rising voice within Bishop Jake's ministry, celebrated for his passionate preaching style and his ability to connect with younger generations. His sermons were more than messages. They carried a raw authenticity that resonated with people who often felt overlooked by traditional church structures. For millennials and Gen Z especially, Tudman was a bridge between faith's timeless truths and the challenges of modern life. His gift for communication was undeniable. Even before stepping onto the stage at the Potter's house, Pastor Joel Tudman had already carved out a reputation as a powerful speaker and a natural leader. But once he aligned with Bishop T.D. his influence skyrocketed. Week after week, his sermons carried a passion and authenticity that resonated with people across generations. Many didn't just see him as a preacher, they saw him as a future leader, perhaps even one of the few positioned to carry the torch forward when the time came to continue the legacy that Bishop had spent decades building. That is exactly why his sudden absence from the pulpit and his eventual departure left so many stunned. For loyal members and online viewers alike, it felt abrupt, almost like the curtain dropping in the middle of a performance. The signs, however, had been building quietly. Over the past year, members noticed Pastor Tudman preaching less frequently. Other pastors began filling roles where his voice once rang out with fire. On social media, followers observed a shift. His posts began to focus less on the Potter's house and more on his personal ministry, his vision, and his leadership journey. Subtly, he was preparing for something new. Then came the confirmation Joel Tudman was no longer part of the Potter's house. But the way it unfolded only deepened the shock. There was no farewell celebration, no heartfelt tribute, no formal send-off for a man who had poured so much into the ministry. The silence was louder than any words could have been. Out of that silence, questions grew, suspicions spread, and theories took shape. For many, possibilities rose above the rest. Was this the result of a leadership clash? Or was it a personal calling? Another theory framed the departure as part of a generational shift. With Bishop gradually preparing the next wave of leaders, Tudman seemed like a natural bridge to the future. His charisma and relatability gave him unique influence. Yet transitions of this magnitude are rarely smooth, especially in such a public arena. Some wondered whether this departure revealed the difficulties of managing generational handoffs in a megachurch environment. And then there was the silence theory. The absence of a formal farewell, the lack of a clear statement, and the long wait for Bishop to speak all made people wonder whether something bigger was happening behind the scenes. Was this discretion a way to protect both sides, allowing Tudman freedom to move forward without controversy, while preserving the stability of the church? As speculation swirled and questions mounted, Bishop T.D. chose silence. Weeks went by with no statement, and his quietness only fueled the curiosity of members and critics alike. Some wondered if he was avoiding the issue, while others believed he was waiting for the right moment. When he finally spoke, however, the entire atmosphere shifted. The first thing that struck listeners was his tone. He was not defensive, dismissive, or accusatory. Instead, he spoke with calm authority and respect, acknowledging Pastor Joel Tudman's contributions and honoring his impact on the Potter's house. He stressed that this departure was not about scandal or division, but about seasons of calling. According to Bishop Jakes, God sometimes moves leaders from one assignment to another to accomplish a greater purpose. By framing it this way, he reassured the congregation that the church was not fractured and that Tudman was not abandoned. Instead, it was the natural rhythm of ministry, one chapter ending so another could begin. He praised Tudman's passion, his energy, and his ability to inspire a generation, shifting the conversation from confusion to gratitude. And in classic T.D. Jakes style, he turned a moment of uncertainty into a timeless teaching about obedience, transition, and God's perfect design. Interestingly, what he did not say was just as important. He did not address rumors. He did not indulge in gossip. He did not provide private details. Instead, he focused on faith, calling, and the bigger picture. By refusing to fuel speculation, he closed the door on controversy and modeled a steady, graceful response. His words mattered because perception in the world of megachurches is everything. Silence had created uncertainty, but his statement restored confidence, reassured members, and honored Tudman's legacy. For Tudman himself, this response also mattered. Rather than leaving under a cloud of suspicion, he exited with a blessing. But the story does not end there. The question now is, what is next for Pastor Joel Tudman? There are several possibilities. The most obvious is starting his own church. With his charisma, leadership, and experience under one of the most influential pastors in the world, Tudman has all the tools to launch a thriving ministry. Many who admired him at the Potter's House would likely follow him into this new season, eager to continue under his voice. Another possibility is expanding his role as a speaker, author, and influencer. In today's digital world, sermons are no longer confined to church walls. Through YouTube, podcasts, TikTok, and streaming platforms, Tudman could reach millions. His ability to speak into everyday struggles, faith, leadership, relationships, and mental health could position him as a global voice in both spiritual growth and personal development. Collaboration is also on the table. Leaving the Potter's House does not mean isolation. He could easily partner with other ministries, becoming a sought-after speaker at conferences and events across the country. His authenticity and passion would make him a welcome addition wherever he goes. Of course, transition comes with challenges. Building something outside the covering of Bishop Jakes will not be easy. It requires resilience, resources, and a strong vision. But Tudman has faced pressure before and thrived. If his past is any indication, he is equipped to overcome the hurdles and build something even greater. And here is the bigger picture. Tudman's next chapter is not just about him. It also reflects back on the legacy of the Potter's House. If he flourishes, it will validate Bishop Jakes' role as a mentor who raised up strong leaders. It will show that the church's influence is not limited to one man, but extends through those it sends out into the world. At its core, this story is about more than one pastor leaving a church. It is about how leadership evolves, how legacies are passed on, and how God's calling leads people into unexpected chapters. By breaking his silence, Bishop T.D. Jakes brought wisdom and clarity to a situation that could have easily divided his congregation. Instead of scandal, he offered perspective. Instead of secrecy, he offered grace. As Pastor Joel Tudman steps into a brand new season, his journey is only beginning, and the world is watching. What's your take on his departure from the Potter's House? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more powerful stories and insights. Thanks for watching.